Christopher Campbell and Cafu continue to up the ante with their utterly fantastic Iron Man book as Tony suffers a life-threatening injury that could very well end his life in an instant, but he isn't going to let death stop him from getting Korvac and his acolytes. Christopher Campbell again builds such a compelling take on Tony Stark, who has his whole life quite literally shattered here, yet all it seems to do is bolster him. I really did like Tony's realization that trying to apologize for everything he's done only brought him pain, so he's done looking out for others and playing nice. The coldness in his words when he told the team to leave gargoyles since he would only slow them down was really quite surprising and something I didn't particularly expect from Tony, but Campbell does a fantastic job writing this type of Tony who is just done with everything and anything in his life, and I'm really looking forward to him confronting Korvac now that he's realized that. Hellcat also reckoning with Korvac in her head was really quite compelling stuff, especially given her past regarding mental health and how now the voice is messing with her fragile state of mind. Cafu again provides just some wonderful imagery, beautifully rendering each page. I love the amount of emotion he's able to get from Iron Man's helmets. It's literally just 3 slits on a gold surface, but you're still able to tell when Tony is angry or sad or in pain. It's something that's absolutely hard to do with characters like this, yet Cafu pulls it off effortlessly. Iron Man issue 6 continued Tony's descent into his own mind as he hunts for Korvac, perfectly encapsulating a man who has had enough of being thrown around and apologizing for his past mistakes. I cannot wait for the final confrontation between Tony and Korvac since it's definitely going to be a highlight of Tony Stark's long and storied history. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Iron Man issue 6 finds both Tony and Patsy broken after their confrontations with Korvac, both knowing that they are hurt, but Tony knows he'll fix this, while Patsy doesn't even know if she can this time. Tony is done being nice since all it's gotten him is a broken neck as he tries to get up and go and help Patsy. Patsy however comes to the laundromat, grabbing Tony, struggling to pull the heavily armored man up, but Tony throws her off, wanting to do this himself. He rests on a washing machine as Patsy grabs a cart, putting him in it and rushing outside to hail a cab. As she hails the cab, the cart wheels fall off the curb, and the drop causes Tony to scream out in pain. Patsy pulls him into the cab, telling the driver to go, but Tony doesn't want to go to the hospital since his armor is the only thing holding his neck together, so he needs a technician like Halcyon. Elsewhere, Tony's team survives the explosion thanks to Gargoyle, who kept them safe in his shield. Misty asks why Ben's spider sense didn't warn them, but Scarlet Spider says his senses went off, but he just assumed they will be fighting some henchmen or Korvac himself, not knowing that there'd be an explosion. The spot Gargoyle stood in, however, was out of the shield, meaning he had one of his wings blown off and he's seriously injured. The hero collapses as the shield fades, allowing the team to come to his aid, learning he used his bio-mystical energy that's tied to his life force to shield them, meaning he's now dying, so they need to get him help. Elsewhere, Korvac's team readies to blast off to Taa II, doing a weapons check before launch. Korvac knows they'll need the weapons for Galactus' defenses, since they are no joke. He tells the team he intends to go and deal with James before they leave, but finds Guardsman has arrived. The villain welcomes his friend, telling him to strap in as Rhodey frees himself from the pipe he was tied to, removing the headband he was forced to wear as Guardsman and Korvac attack, blowing a hole in the warehouse wall that allows James to escape out of. Korvac isn't happy not being able to go after him since he's needed on Taa II, so Guardsman offers to go after him, saying this is how he'll serve his master. He hopes Korvac remembers him in the Ascension, and the villain promises he will, telling him not to falter. Tony meanwhile remembers the question he asked himself so long ago, is it the drink or the dream? And it's something he still asks himself time and time again. As Misty and Halcyon prep Tony for surgery, he knows he's about to be hit with some steroids and hypermorphone, a nasty cocktail of meds, and as an addict he knows what the drugs could do to him, but if he doesn't get them, he would die since the blood-brain barrier in his head has been damaged. He asks himself the question again as he falls unconscious from the drugs. Halcyon gets to work, fusing the armor's cervical column rings together, which will help stabilize his spinal injury and prevent him from suffocating. Halcyon continues to work on Tony's neck until it is stabilized enough, limiting his movement to 50 degrees of rotation. He is helped up and given more meds to prevent him from going immediately into shock. He figures he can't remove his armor until he's ready for emergency surgery, and removing his helmet would be fatal, but he is alive and angry and he's done apologizing for anything. He tells himself that he will win this fight since he is the one who always wins, and Korvac thinks he's a god, but Tony Stark is Iron Man. Tony goes to see Gargoyle, learning he's regenerating, but he wants an ETA on his recovery, but Scarlet Spider has no idea, asking Tony if he should Google it. Tony says that they're going to leave the planet within 2 hours, and if Gargoyle is out for the count, then he's just a waste of his time and they need to leave him. Patsy meanwhile finds herself in the fires of hell again, not wanting to go back. Korvac's voice says that she doesn't need to and they forgive her, she just needs to follow them. Patsy knows it's Korvac, wanting to know where he's going, wondering what his paradise looks like. Korvac shifts Patsy into a faraway alien world, saying this is what his paradise is and it's made of peace and harmony. Patsy can feel the sweet and warm breeze on her face as Iron Man comes to find her, pulling her from her dream, making her feel like she just got hit with 2 injections of olazapine. Tony says he's swimming in pain meds as well, feeling great, but that's going to be a problem later on. Patsy says that while she usually knows where she is, Korvac is messing with her head, tossing her around. She wonders if the villain is right, since paradise could be beautiful, but Tony knows that it wouldn't be and he can't create the perfect universe, thinking he himself could create a better one than Korvac. Patsy becomes scared of Tony's words as outside, Misty tells the team this is beginning to look like a suicide mission and Tony is going to get them killed. Ben says that if Tony and Patsy go alone, they'll be killed themselves, and Frogman says they can at least try and stop Korvac from ending it all. Scarlet Spider wants to call in Captain America or one of the hundreds of other Avengers, but Misty knows that they'll be light years away before they can get their act together. Halcyon wonders about the heroes from outer space that they often team with, and Misty intends to send out a covert signal once they leave Earth. War Machine arrives, however, saying that no one is leaving Earth now and he's in charge and he's getting a whole cavalry to go up against Korvac so the team can call it a day. Tony is glad to see his friend alive and well, but tells him this is his fight. James knows that he's the last person who should be taking on Korvac, wanting to tag him out. Tony says that energy weapons don't work on Korvac, so he's going to try some brute force. James again tells him to go home as Guardsman arrives, telling James that this is his last night on Earth. The villain realizes the entire team survived the explosion and are still alive as Tony approaches the villain. James tells him to go easy on the guy, but Tony smashes him in the face, throwing him through all his cars and into the wall. Tony says he gave the man a break, telling Rhodey that he's going to be his pilot on this and he won't be stopped this time, so either James comes with him or not. James gives in, since at least he can do is stop him from getting killed. Tony is happy, wanting to bring up the most bleeding edge, sophisticated and technologically advanced spacecraft he owns, since they need to make up for some lost time.